Hello dear students, how are you all? I hope you all are fine. And few students have requested me to upload the answers for the exercise questions of class 7 science, that is physical and chemical changes. As their half term examinations, that is SA1 is approaching fast, so they are requesting me. So I am taking those exercise questions in this video. Let us go ahead with answers for each and every question so that whole lesson can be covered in a single video, right? Without skipping, you watch the video, you will get complete understanding of the whole lesson there, right? Let us go ahead with this. First, here exercise questions I am saying means for these you are going to get the answers now. As you will be having the textbook, you keep the textbook in front of you so that I will be giving answers for each and every question with correct proper reasoning, right? So that you will not have any difficulty while answering. Even if same questions are asked, otherwise similar questions are asked, you can answer easily, right? These questions we are going to solve. Now coming to first question, what they are saying, classify the changes involved in the following processes as physical or chemical changes they are saying. Here I have written these, since they are short ones I have written photosynthesis, whether it is a physical or chemical. If I give the answers, if you behead those, it is not going to be a science, because you should have proper reasoning in science. Once if you understand the concept, you should be able to apply that to the next change, whether it is a physical or chemical, like that you should be able to understand. If you come to that, here photosynthesis, what is photosynthesis here? Here photosynthesis means what? Carbon dioxide and water, they are combining with each other in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll in plants, right? As a result, what is formed there? Glucose and oxygen are formed, right? Since these are coming out along with water also, right? Since these products are formed, what do we say that this is a chemical change, because new products are formed here, glucose and oxygen, right? Because what we had given, carbon dioxide and water it had taken, right? So but it is producing new products, so it is a chemical change. So we can say this as a chemical change, right? Next, coming to dissolving sugar in water. If you dissolve the sugar in water, what happens? If you put a piece of particle of that sugar in the mouth, it is sweet, right? If you dissolve that in the water, what is going to be the taste of that sugar? Again, sweet or not? Means there is no change in the taste. Okay, just it is state is changed. How? It was solid in the beginning, later it is dissolved in the liquid solution we are getting. Okay, in the liquid form we are getting the same sweetness. So this is what? A physical change, because there is no any change in the original character such as taste of the sugar. So this is what? A physical change. Next, coming to burning of coal. Burning of coal means it is carbon, right? If you burn the carbon, other products are coming there. Say for example carbon dioxide, it may be produced, or carbon monoxide can be produced, but carbon you are not getting after burning as it is, right? So this is a chemical change again, because it is giving new product after burning. Okay, and what it is doing, it is releasing the energy also. If there is evolution of heat in a change, we can call it as a chemical change, right? If you once if you provide the heat to that, it is releasing continuously heat, because it is reacting with oxygen, it is releasing the heat. That heat we are getting in the form of fire, right? So that is why it is a chemical change, we can say. Next, coming to melting of wax. Melting of wax, very simple. Just if you take the candle and you melt it, what happens? A drop of candle, it falls down, immediately it solidifies, right? So what we can say that here solid to liquid it changed. Again, as it is getting cooled, immediately it changes to solid. Means here just there is change in the state, change in the state of course, but there is no any change in the chemical properties. Means new product is not formed, right? So it is just changing from solid to liquid, again liquid to solid. So we can say that it is a physical change. Melting of wax is a physical change. Next, coming to beating aluminum foil to make aluminum. Beating aluminum to make aluminum foil, it is told. Means aluminum, you take any solid piece you take. If you beat that, it becomes thin sheet. Okay, that is only called aluminum foil. Say for example, food, when we bring that, they will wrap that food, right? That is aluminum foil, we can say that. So that type of thin sheet they are making, that aluminum. What is that? What type of change is that? Just we are changing the shape, right? It was say maybe it may be cube or cuboid, whatever, in the beginning. When it was beaten into thin sheet, it became very much thin in size, and the shape is also changed, only that much. So what we can say is here, since there is only change in the shape of the aluminum, it is a physical change, not a chemical change. Remember. Next, coming to here, digestion of food. Digestion of food means what? Whatever we are eating, the food, it is not remaining as it is. It is combining with hydrochloric acid, as you know already, right? Some of the enzymes will be there present in the stomach. It is mixing with those, and that food, it is breaking down into simpler substances. Okay, from complex to simpler, it is breaking down. So what is happening here? Chemical changes are going to take place, because as a whole food, we are not, it is not being grinded as it is. No, it is undergoing many chemical reactions inside, because it is combining with many juices, that means intestinal juices, right? So since pancreatic juice, it is mixing with that, bile juice it is mixing, right? Next, hydrochloric acid also it is mixing. Some of the enzymes, you will learn about these in the higher classes. Enzymes means pepsin, trypsin, lipase, next what is salivary amylase, such enzymes are there. With them, when it combines, it is undergoing structural changes inside that molecule only. The molecule is smallest unit of that particle. It is changing. So we can say it is a chemical change. And even if you want this direct example, see, once the food, if it enters the stomach, if it comes out back, it will not be having the same smell, right? Odor will be changed, right? This is again a chemical change. So chemical change, this is chemical change, this is physical change, right? Next, coming to cutting a log of food into pieces is a chemical change. These true or false, they are asking. Second question, what is this? State whether the following statements are true or false, they are asking. In case a statement is false, write the correct statement in your notebook, they are saying there. What is the first question? Cutting a log of food into pieces, okay, is a chemical change, they are saying this. Is it a chemical change? If you cut the wood, you make it powder, no problem, you can burn the wood again, right? Again it remains as fuel, right? So even if you burn that big piece of wood or make it powder and burn, both can be burned, right? Both are fuels, right? So what we can say here, it is just changing its size from bigger to smaller, and you are changing the shape, size, only that much. But you are not changing any inside that original characters of that particular wood. Say for example, burning ability is there for that. Okay, if it is dry wood, that we are not changing. So that is a physical change. Since there is change in the shape and size of the wood pieces, it is a physical change. Okay. So what they are saying, it is here a chemical change, that is wrong. So what we have to say, it is a physical change, and you have to give the reason that it is, there is change in the shape and size of the wood, only that much. Next, coming to formation of manure from leaves is a physical change. Formation of manure from the leaves, how can it be a physical change? Because leaves, they should be eaten by that smallest organisms, that is microorganisms such as bacteria and all, they will eat up fungus and all, right? When they eat up, they will change that into different nutrients. Here in the leaf, they were not available. After they ate, after they digested, when they excrete, what comes out, that will be the manure. Means again, it is a chemical change, it cannot be a physical change. Remember, it is a physical change. So it is a chemical change, not a physical change. Remember, right? You have to say that physical, if they are given, it is false. It is a chemical change. Next, coming to iron pieces coated with zinc do not get rusted easily. Yes, of course, it is true. Why it is true? Iron pipes, they are coated with zinc. Zinc is a metal, one type of metal it is. When it is coated on the surface of iron piece, iron will not be exposed to what? Air, means oxygen and water. When it is exposed to these two things, iron, only then it gets what? Rusted there. Water means not in liquid state, that should be in the form of moisture. In the air, water is present. Okay, that presence of water in the air, that is called humidity. If there is more humidity, more water is present in the air. When there is more water vapor in the air and oxygen also, they react with iron, they produce rust. Okay, since you are coating that with one more layer outside that iron piece, that is zinc. Zinc is not reacting with oxygen and water vapor, moisture. So as a result, it is protecting the iron from the contact of oxygen and water vapor. As a result, it does not get rust. Okay, that is why it is not it is not rusted easily. It does not get rusted easily, we can say, right? Next, so that is true. Next, coming to iron and rust are the same substances. Are these same? No. Here, iron is different, rust is different. See, in iron, what happens here? Fe, when it combines with water, vapor, and oxygen, right? When it combines, it is giving what? It is giving Fe2O3. This is one new product, that is dot N hydrated, we say. That is like this, we are getting one new product. Fe2O3 is what? It is entirely new product, right? So since it is giving new product here, this new product is not same as the iron. Iron we can melt and make one more new any object we can make. But in this rust, it is brown color powder, as you have seen. Once if it is rusted, that rust cannot be changed into anything at all. It is full waste. Okay, after chemical reaction we are getting that. So that is why rust and iron, they are not same, they are different, because rust is not a useful substance, whereas iron is useful substance. It can be recycled, but iron, but not the rust. Remember, with rust we cannot get iron back. Next, after that, coming to here, what is that? Both are same substances, they are saying. It is false. Okay. Next, coming to what answer I said, that you need to write. Condensation of steam is not a chemical change. Condensation of steam, it must be, it is not a chemical change, they are saying. Of course, it is a physical change. It is correct. Because of what? Here, state of the water you are changing, but you are not changing the property of the water. Say, for example, water, when it is in water state, then also what was there? H2O. When you made it steam, in this also, it will be H2O only there, right? Only its state from liquid to vapor, it is changed. Gaseous form, it is changed. So it is a physical change. So it is not a chemical change, right? So that is correct. That is true. Next, coming to fill in the blanks in the following statements. What is the question? When carbon dioxide is passed through lime water, it turns milky due to the formation of what? This I had done one experiment on this in the previous video. If you go through that, you will understand. In lime water, when we blow the air into the lime water with some straw or some pipe, what happens? Carbon dioxide, when it comes out of our body, it mixes with the lime water, right? When it mixes, it turns milky white. Why it turns milky white? I had told there. What is that? It is because of formation of one of the new product called what? Calcium carbonate. Remember. So new product is what? That is calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate, right? This, if you write chemically, CaCO3, we say for that. This is a new product. For this is what? A question number 3 in that first one, in that calcium carbonate. The next one more is water. Water is also formed there. Okay? Water will also be formed. Next, coming to the chemical name of baking soda is, yes, the chemical name of baking soda is, what is that? Baking soda, that is sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate, we say baking soda. Okay, otherwise we call it as sodium hydrogen carbonate, we say. That is also correct. Any one you can write, sodium bicarbonate or sodium hydrogen carbonate, you can say. So that is what? Chemical name of baking soda. Sodium carbonate means what? It is Na2CO3. This is sodium carbonate, Na2CO3. This one baking soda means it is like this, NaHCO3. Remember, right? This is baking soda. Okay, this is washing soda. Remember. Next, coming to here, two methods by which rusting iron can be prevented are, two methods you need to say. How to prevent rusting of iron? You know that, very simple. If it is exposed to the air and moisture, it gets rusted. we have to avoid its contact with air and means oxygen and water. How to avoid it? Just by painting, right? If you paint the iron with any paint you iron on the surface of iron, you paint any paint you take and coat it. What happens after coating the paint? It will be avoided from the contact of air and moisture, as a means oxygen and moisture. As a result, it does not get rusted. Remember, this is one. Next, after this, and one more thing, what greasing that iron materials. If you are applying the grease on that, then also it does not react with oxygen and moisture. Remember. Otherwise, one more method what can be used other than that, that is only called electroplating. Electroplating means what? It is what coating of any metal on the surface of another metal. Say for example, this is one metal, right? On the surface of this, if you are any other metal, if you are coating on the surface of this one, okay, so coat means coating a desired metal on the surface of another metal, okay. That process through the by passing electricity they will do, that is what electrolysis, that that is called what? Electroplating. Electroplating is used for avoiding rusting. Otherwise, one more process is there. What is that process? Here a layer of zinc is coated on the surface of the iron. That process is called galvanization. Remember, one more process is what? Galvanization, or painting, or greasing, you can say, or electroplating. Electroplating means any desired metals. Copper you can coat on the surface of iron. That is electroplating. Remember, right? So this is how we can avoid rusting. Next, after that, changes in which only C over C we finished, right? That is painting. You can say painting and galvanization. You can write galvanization. These are two methods we can use. Next, what we can say, changes in which only property of a substance change are called physical changes. Changes in which only dash properties, yeah, only dash properties of a substance change are called physical change. What those properties? Physical properties. You have to write there, only physical properties, if they are changed, that is a physical change. And you must know this. What are physical properties? Physical properties means change in the shape, it may be change in the size, it may be, right, change in the color, or change in the state. These are also physical properties. Remember, right? When you change this, then they are called physical properties. If there is change in the physical properties, we can say it is a physical change. Next, coming to here, this I have explained in the previous video, right? You can go through that in case it is required. Changes in which new substances are formed are called chemical changes. Dash changes they have given, that is chemical changes, right? Chemical changes you can write. Next, coming to fourth question. Fourth question, what is saying? When baking soda mixed with lemon juice, bubbles are formed with the evolution of gas. What type of change is it? Explain. Now, in the textbook, they have mentioned one chemical reaction for you. What is that? In that, vinegar you take and add baking soda with that, they are saying. Vinegar is what? It is acetic acid, right? With acetic acid, you are mixing with that, you are combining with what? Baking soda. When both are reacting, their new products are formed. In that, what salt is formed, carbon dioxide is formed, and water is formed. While it is formed, carbon dioxide gas, it is coming out, that we are passing through lime water. Lime water changes to milky white. This experiment is mentioned in your textbook. Now, instead of what this one, uh, vinegar, they have told here lemon juice. Lemon juice is what? It is also an acid, right? What vinegar is what? It is also an acid, right? Instead of vinegar, they have given lemon juice. If it reacts with that baking soda, what bubbles are formed with the evolution of gas. What type of change is it? You know that if there is evolution of a gas, if there is change in the temperature, these types of changes, what are they called? They are called chemical changes, right? Because new product formation is there. If there is new product formation, then we can say such a change as a chemical change, right? This is a chemical change. You have to say that. You can explain in your own words what this lemon juice is an acid, and baking soda. It is like a base, it is, okay, or it is mild base we can say. When it is reacting with that, it produces new products such as that is salt, carbon dioxide and water. These are new products formed in this reaction. So this is a chemical change, okay, because we know that if a chemical change means there is evolution of new product or new gas it may be, or formation of new product it may be, or there is rise in the temperature it may be. These can be observed, right? Okay, rise or decrease in the temperature we can say. See, next this one over. Next, coming to fourth one, fifth question. Fifth question, what is that? When a candle burns, both physical and chemical changes take place. Identify these changes. Give another example of familiar process in which both a chemical and physical change take place. One example they have given in the textbook, right? What they have told here, if you burn a candle, see, just I'll show you here that one. If this is a candle, here flame will be there, right? Because of the flame, it is melting, means from solid to liquid it is becoming. This is physical change. Here this wax it is getting burnt here, and it is producing smoke here or some gases, right? It is producing. Then what we can say, this is chemical change after burning. Before burning it is getting heated and changing its state. This is what physical change. Okay, this is physical change. This is chemical change. Okay, chemical change. Both we can observe. They are asking similar example you give which you are familiar with. They are asking very much simple. So simple at home. You otherwise in temples you might have seen. If you go to any places where worship is done, then what we can do is here diya we light, right? When they are lighted here in any program also you might have seen that. What happens here when they put the oil if it is palm oil, it will be solid during winter season. Okay, it is not fully liquid. Though even it is solid, they will put it into what diya. It is getting heated in the beginning. Because of that heat, it gets melted here. It becomes liquid in this part, and it is changing to what other smoke or some other gases it generates after burning with oxygen. Here it is chemical change. Okay, here chemical change we can say here after burning. Before burning, that solid is changing into liquid. Here it is what physical change, right? It is physical change. Both can be seen. These are what familiar examples we can say. Okay, palm oil when it is used for lighting the diyas. Okay, it is solid in the beginning. As it is lighted, immediately just because of it gets melted and changes to liquid. That liquid after burning it produces some other gases, right? So what we can say, after burning chemical change, before burning it is changing from solid to liquid, that is physical change. This is one familiar question answer we can say there. Okay, situation. Next, coming to here, question number 6. How would you show that setting of curd is a chemical change? So simple. You just taste the milk. Taste of the milk is different. Taste of the curd is different. Milk is little mild. It is sweet, we can say, right? Milk. But after changing into curd, it changes taste to what? Sour. Means it becomes sour in taste. So since there is change in the what taste we can say, this is a chemical change. And there will be state also. State, if it is changing from solid to little semi solid we can say, it is changing, that also we can say. But majorly you can take the taste. If you take the taste is changing. Because of that it is a chemical change. This is answer for question number 6. Let us come to question number 7. Explain why burning of wood and cutting it into small pieces are considered as two different types of changes. Now you see, let us classify these into different changes. Because of what? When you cut the wood into pieces, we are not changing any of its chemical properties. Say for example, in the beginning I said what? If it is burning wood, it burns. Even if you make it powder, it burns. If it is big wood piece, then also it burns. We are not changing its original properties there. Just physically we are changing. Means what? We are reducing its size. Okay, by cutting into pieces. So that is a physical change. But after burning, if you burn the wood, then it changes to different new products. Means it produces smoke, it releases energy. So it is a chemical change. That is why burning is burning of not only wood. You burn anything, it is 100%. It is a chemical change because it is reacting with oxygen. It is producing new products. Remember, Okay, when heat is given. So that is a chemical change and a physical change we can classify like this, right? Next, coming to a question number 8. Describe how crystals of copper sulfate are prepared. Okay, copper sulfate crystals, how they are prepared. Here there is one method for that. Say for example, here I'll show. Here this is one beaker, right? In this beaker you need to take water. Say for example, half we will take. If you take half, keep this beaker on what wire gas. Wire gas means it is used for heating any glasswares. Okay, because it provides uniform heat. Okay, so we are using here. Let us keep here on this. So what happens here? I have kept here. This is called a tripod stand. What stand we are using here? With the help of Bunsen burner or a spirit lamp, you start heating this. Okay, this water you have to heat it till fair till it starts boiling there. Okay, and you should also add few drops of dilute sulfuric acid to this. Dilute sulfuric acid H2SO4. Few drops you add and start that over, heat that water till it starts boiling. When it starts boiling, then you have to add to this what CuSO4. That is, these are copper sulfate crystals. They are blue in color, right? That we will show it here. Copper sulfate crystals, you can see here like this. Copper sulfate crystals, these are blue color like salt it is. This you have to add to this water. How? Along with stirring. Along with stirring means you have to take a glass rod, you have to stir the water, and you have to keep on adding that crystals till where, till no more crystals of copper sulfate is dissolved into that. Means when it starts settling down here, you cannot dissolve anymore. Okay, it stopped dissolving because water is already, it is boiling. You have added diluted H2SO4 also, and you are stirring and adding that crystals. You cannot dissolve any more crystals, then you should stop it. Okay, after stopping, what you have to do, remove this in another container. Okay, in another container you remove only this liquid which is completely having dissolved copper sulfate crystals. Okay, when you are removing into this, here solid ones, if it is undissolved, you will let it be settle down. Only that upper one you are removing. Now you keep it for cooling for some time. Okay. Then after cooling, if you observe, you can find these copper sulfate crystals again back again here. Okay. Crystals we can get it back here back. Means big pieces also we can get here. Okay. Though even it was very much small in the beginning. So what we are doing is, here we are dissolving the liquid, again we are forming that crystals of the copper. This process is called what? Crystallization. Remember, very simple. In your own words, you say taking the copper sulfate crystals, dissolving that into the no, taking water in a beaker, half of the beaker, and heating the water till it starts boiling. Adding dilute sulfuric acid, few drops, and start adding copper sulfate crystals into that by stirring, constant stirring continuously, and till no more copper sulfate dissolves into that. Okay, finished. After that, just you decant that upper liquid into another beaker or container and keep it for cooling. After cooling, it forms again copper sulfate crystals. This is called crystallization. Remember. Yes, next, coming to this question number 9. Okay, question number 9. What is that? Explain how painting of an iron gate prevents it from rusting. So simple. If you paint any iron gate or any iron materials, the surface of the iron will be avoided from the contact of moisture and oxygen. Okay, painting, it is a layer form, means one layer which is avoiding the surface of that iron being in contact with the moisture and oxygen. As a result, iron does not react with these things, so means with oxygen and water vapor, moisture. As a result, it does not get rusted. This is the answer, right? So after this, prevents. Question number 10. Explain why rusting of an iron object is faster in coastal areas than in deserts. They are asking, explain why rusting of iron objects is faster. It is, of course, correct. It is, means iron materials get rusted faster in coastal areas, okay, than in desert. Of course. Why? In coastal area, more water is there. If more water means what? They are that river bank you take, otherwise sea shore you take, whatever it is. More water vapor we can find because nearby water bodies are there. Since that air which is present in that particular area, it contains more moisture. If there is more moisture and more oxygen, more faster rusting of iron materials takes place, right? And if you take on desert, there is no water on the desert at all. Where do you bring that moisture on the desert? Is it easy? No. So because of that, since moisture is very much less in desert areas, here oxygen is present. But with oxygen, it cannot get rusted iron. It needs both the things, moisture as well as what oxygen. If there is no moisture, it will not get rusted. If there is no oxygen, then also it will not get rusted. So because of that, there is what in desert areas, oxygen means water vapor is less, moisture is less, oxygen is of course present, but it cannot get rusted faster since there is lack of moisture in desert areas. In coastal areas, more moisture is present, more oxygen means both are mixing together with iron. They are combining to form rust. So that is why it is faster in coastal areas. Remember, this is question number 10 over. Coming to question number 11. The gas we use in the kitchen is called liquefied petroleum gas, right? Yes. In the cylinder, it exists as a liquid. When it comes out from the cylinder, it becomes a gas. This is change A, right? Next, they are saying, then it burns, that is change B. The following statements pertain to these changes. Choose the correct one, they are saying. Process A is a chemical change. What they are saying is, chemical change they are saying. No, it is gas with full pressure. When you fill that into the cylinder, it is becoming liquid. Because of high pressure, it is changing its state. Okay, only state is changing. It is becoming from gaseous to liquid, it is becoming. But when it comes out again in the form of gas, it comes out. Means what? There is no any change in the chemical property of the gas. Means it can be burnt again. So we can say that this is a physical change. Process A is a physical change, not a chemical change. Right? Now, process B. Process B is what they are giving is a chemical change they are saying. Of course, process B is what? After it comes out in the form of gas, it is getting burnt. Okay. After burning, it is producing smoke and other gases, right? Then it must be a chemical change. If it is changing from so gas to liquid, liquid to gas, it is physical change. Process A is physical change. But process B is what? Chemical change. I have told you already. That is, if you burn anything, it is 100% a chemical change, remember. Right? Burning means it is a chemical change. So this is, so what we can say here, options they might have given. Yes, both process A and B are chemical changes they are giving. No. So this cannot be. Both chemical changes, it cannot be there. None of these process is a chemical change. No, this is also wrong. First option is what? Process A is a chemical change. That is wrong. Process second sub question they have given that process B is a chemical change. Only this is the right answer. So since they have given four options in that, one, two, okay, and third and fourth question, second one is right. It is a chemical change. Process B is a chemical change. Remaining are wrong. Next, coming to question number 12. Anaerobic bacteria digest animal waste and produce biogas. This is change A, they are saying, right? The biogas is then burnt as fuel. That is change B. The following statements pertain to these changes. Choose the correct one, they are saying. First, process A is a chemical change. Of course, it is a chemical change because the digestion of the food is chemical change. We have already discussed previously, right? Next, coming to process B is a chemical change. It is also 100% correct because that biogas is burned to form again new products. That is also a chemical change. Second question. Third sub question there means option they are given. What is it? Third one. Both process A and B are chemical changes. 100% correct it is. Because the digestion of the food is a chemical change. That biogas, what it is coming out, it is burnt. Again, it is chemical change. So both the processes are chemical changes. It is correct. Fourth one is wrong. None of these processes, chemical change is wrong. Remember. So till here we have finished all the answers for all the questions of exercise. Okay. If you go through this in short time, I have covered all the answers. If you wherever you find difficult, Just you revise and check it once again. Whatever we have discussed, all are exact answers for those exercise questions. If you get ready with this, entire lesson can be understood easily, right? And in the next video, if possible, we will make that crystallization. uh, Practically we'll check it how it can be done. But one more thing I'll clarify to you here in this video. Here we are doing that experiment with copper sulfate solution. When we dissolve that into the water, I told here, okay, we are forming crystallization. Means crystallization we are doing here, right? Instead of doing that crystallization, just you dissolve dilute sulfuric acid into this few drops. Okay, in this, if you put any one iron pin or anything iron material you put into that, what happens? You keep it for few hours. After few hours, this, it was blue color. This solution was blue color in the beginning. It changes to green color after some time. What is happening here? Here, this solution was CuSO4, copper sulfate solution it was there. After changing, this becomes FeSO4. Means what? Here we are adding this one iron. Iron is mixing with copper sulfate. It is making iron sulfate. Okay, ferrous sulfate we say for that. So this is becoming green in color. Okay, green color. If they ask you why it is changing the color, you have to say here iron is displacing the copper and it is making iron sulfate solution or ferrous sulfate solution, and it is displacing, means it is separating the copper from the solution, you can say. So this copper, where it goes? It goes and deposits on that iron piece what you are putting inside that liquid. On that it coats. Okay, this process is called what? Electroplating. Electroplating is what? It is coating any metal on the surface, any desired metal on the surface of another metal. Okay, coating any desired metal on the surface of another metal by passing electricity or through the process of electrolysis, we say. That is called what? Electroplating, right? So this is electroplating, remember. Okay. This electroplating will be used for making the things attractive, otherwise to avoid them from rusting. Remember, for iron materials they use it usually. And galvanization we have studied, that is coating a layer of zinc on the surface of iron. Remember, that is galvanization. Or painting we are going. Okay, just going through that. Painting also avoids rusting or greasing, right? So these are the different methods which can avoid rusting of iron materials where we are using this. Okay. So just you go through all the question answers so that you can understand easily everything and you can write every question without leaving anything. Okay, if there is anything to be covered, anything to be explained in detail, if something is any doubt, you can ask me in the comment box so that I can take up that topic in the next video and I'll clarify all those doubts to you. Okay, okay. See you in the next video.